Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and we're going to take a closer look at this little Klein digital angle gauge here in a sec. But first I wanted to bring up something that was kind of interesting, I thought. Maybe you've got another example of this. So a lot of tools will have some sort of eyewear warning, like this is a Milwaukee hammer, and it's showing the hammer hitting a nail, hitting, hopefully your eyewear and bouncing off. So if you do need help, that's what that means. Milwaukee also has it written out this way. You can see that like a little V or something. Usually that's a sign for eyesight, but anyway. Klein does also use that, such as, I guess, either that or wear your sunglasses because you're so cool using Klein tools. This one got me wondering. That means electricity, not something else, and I'll get there. And then, of course, for most people old school, Klein does have the wear eye protection notice there, assuming your tool's in good enough shape to read that, your eyes are good enough, and lighting's good enough. Fiskars, of course, puts it all over their hatchet sheath, as well as on the hatchet itself, so that's kind of interesting. Just a curiosity for me. But I got this. This is actually a Blue Point slip joint oil filter wrench. I had the previous version for quite a while. Finally, I got sick and tired of fighting with that nut. I noticed that they sort of improved it. They put 2 washers and a nylon nut. So I stopped by, my Snap-on dealer asked if they had a new centerpiece for it. It was the old school non-slip joint one. He said, oh, we'll just warranty that out. So anyway, I got this one, and this says, caution, wear gloves. And I was trying to think, have I ever seen caution, wear gloves, on something other maybe than a chisel or a jackhammer or something? Anyway, have you seen that before? Especially on an automotive tool, telling you to wear gloves. Anyway, we're going over here. This is the Klein digital angle gauge, but what makes this a little different than these others is this is actually, you'll see it in the name, this is the 935 DAA, or Digital Angle Gauge Alarm, because it's got an alarm on it. This is the earliest one that I know of their little square ones. This is the 935 digital angle gauge, or DAG. This one I've had trouble actually with it over time with some sort of parasitic leak, and it kills batteries if I leave it in it, for 6 months or something, where this one here I use all the time and love it and have zero problems with it. Just a wonderful thing. This one sells for about 60 bucks rounding up. This sells for about 30 bucks rounding up. And then this one sells for about 40 bucks rounding up. This is probably their newer one. Milwaukee and Johnson and many other companies also have their own little kind of square version that does some basic angle stuff. But this one's got a couple other tricks up its sleeve. So first of all, when I turn it on, it has that same error because it's very sensitive to angle, and that's what bugged me about this one, whereas this thing could care less. It just switches over to a new face, if you can see that there. So there are also some lights on this, which is kind of neat. So let's take a closer look at the main feature, and that's right down here. So I'll line it up. I can hold this button in, and I have some choices. These are presets, though. So if I hold that in, it's at 30 degrees now, and what that means is as I turn it, you will hear both a audio, it also tells me, kind of flat, but you'll hear an audio indication of the angle. Notice what I did? I tilted it out. Sorry, that was out of habit, just to get it to the error message, which shuts off the audio, or of course I can mute it by hitting the on-off button or 0 button twice. But you see these red or blinking lights on the edge. That gives you some good indication. See that there? That something's going on. So as this begins to tilt, and it's not in error, of course, what you're going to see is the red steady, and then there is blinking orange as it gets close. We're looking in 5 degrees. And then if I can hit 30, let me rest against something here. Then I get the solid tone, I get the green lights, so that's what's going on. So that's, let me mute this thing. So that's what's happening with this. It also has some other features, the hold feature, and then I can quickly convert it, which direction I want it to work. So there we go. So stop it. There. So I can make it work from 1 to 180, or I can go 1 to 90 and then start counting down or go to 180. So that's pretty simple features, especially for an inexpensive tool. Runs on a couple of double or AAA batteries that are included. That's the standard for all of these. I think this one was AAA too, wasn't it? No, this one was AA up here. But overall, I like it. I like it a lot better than this one because it's got a bit more features, and even though it has the same issues. Strong magnet. It is exposed on this one. They must have learned something there, but as you can see, that one's starting to get kind of cruddied up, so they got to clean these things out. But anyway, this is, you can see it was flipped upside down, so it does in fact, I don't know if you can see that, there we go, play around with that thing. So anyway, for about 40 bucks, yeah, it's worth the extra jump here, but boy, if you're going to use it a lot, I would suggest jumping all the way up to this one at 60 bucks. If you've got a particular one of these that you really like, great. The reason I'm interested in them is the space does seem to be evolving. I mean, that's like within months to years, you start to see new products with new features. So they're obviously both searching for new things that they can embed into these products, especially if it's just electronics, but also electronics or sensors, but also that they're listening to the tradesmen, because suddenly there's something that it's like, why wasn't that there? Especially if it was out here way in the old days when you had, well, I'd like to have temperature. I could turn on angles and turn on the audio here, you know. This is my ancient Craftsman. And that's what I used to use all the time. I guess that was before metrics. But anyway, now with this, these are just so handy, simple, light. Let me know if you've got another one that I should check out that really has better features. And with that, Doc out.